What's going on, everybody? Red Velvet's back, and I have a very special guest coming to us remotely, Coach Greg Barrett. How are we doing today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for the time. I'm doing great. So, been excited for this interview. So, just how's it going today?
It's going good. I'm just sitting here at a little lunch, doing some football stuff, trying to figure out, anytime you take over a new program, just getting things set the way you want them. And, the kids are doing a great job buying in. So it's going really well.
Good. Now, since it's our first time interviewing, what's your story? What got you into football? What got you into coaching? Let's go back to the beginning.
Well, I mean, obviously played high school football for my father, played at Indiana State. It's just always something I knew I was going to do as a young kid, and just kind of got into coaching as I got done playing, and then just kind of my path kind of started from there. I was coaching out at West Vigo, coached there for a year a short term with my father before he passed away. Then my brother Chris took over, so I was with those guys for that full year. Then I went back to Indiana State, was a GA coach there. Then I went to Rose Holman for 2 years, coached 2 years at Rose. Then my wife and I moved to Des Moines, Iowa. So I coached out in Des Moines, Iowa for 2 years. Moved back home. I coached with my brother at Terre Haute North for 5 years. Then I got the head coaching job at North Putnam High School in 2008. I was there for 3 years. Went back to Indiana State and coached with Trent Miles. Then went back to North Putnam. It's crazy how it all worked out. But next thing you know, I'm at South Vermillion the last 8 years, and here I am now at Terre Haute South.
Wow,
28 years.
You've been everywhere. It sounds like.
Yeah, I've had a couple stops. Obviously, all good stops, and I've been fortunate to have some really good teams, and and some good coaches, and you're only as good as the staff you have or the players you have, and so I've been fortunate, and and I'm excited about the new challenge.
Absolutely. Quick question: how is it coaching with your brother? I mean, we all have siblings. My brother and I worked together construction for many years. Love my brother. We don't work well. How was it coaching with your brother?
Oh no, it was awesome, man. I learned a lot from him. He was a great coach, great mentor. He just, it's about the same principles. I've learned so much in my coaching career just from what I did with him when it comes to character, discipline, and toughness. And, that's kind of what I've kind of grown with through my coaching career. I've stuck with it. But no, it was awesome, man. We got along. We talked a lot of football. It was, I had 2 other brothers. We were all coaching together at one time.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot of fun, man. I'm from a football family. My dad played college football. All my brothers played. I've got 4 sisters. They were all good athletes. 3 of them were Division I athletes. So it just kind of runs in the family, and it was a lot of great experiences.
Awesome. Now, that North Putt run you had, I mean, you went to a state championship, I believe.
Yeah, 2010. We had some really good teams. Really felt like a couple of different times we should have made a deep playoff run. But if you're coaching, you never know what's going to happen. I was very fortunate. Had a lot of good teams there. Had a couple good teams in Iowa. Fortunate enough to coach in the state championship there as well. So I know what it takes to get there and how to do it. And I've evolved. My career has definitely evolved, and whether it's coaching styles or schemes, football's football. I think to me the most important thing is the program, how you run the program. And it's to me it's about family, all being here, all doing things together, and it's not about one person; it's about all of them.
Absolutely. What was it like? What was it like coaching in Iowa? I mean, I don't get out that way ever. So
that's a great place for high school sports and college sports. I love them because there's no pro sports out there. You got the Iowa Cubbies, which is AAA baseball, which was a lot of fun, but they are so big into their sports out there. And whether it's football, wrestling, baseball, basketball, you name it, man, they love them all. Great experience, great crowds. You play your rivalry game, you'd have 20,000 people at it. I mean, it was a lot of fun. That's a very good team. They're still doing great out there.
Wow. I've kind of wondered about that. The teams that don't have pro teams, they're probably hungry for all the other sports.
Yeah, they dive into their Division III football. That's a great football conference out there. Also, it's really cool. A lot of it's definitely a great state for sports.
Awesome. And coming off of one of the most historic seasons for South Vermillion last year, I mean, what was that like?
I tell you what, I've been in 2 state championship games, and that last year's season we had a lot of fun. We had some great moments, some great playoff games. It was a special group of kids. Unfortunately, 90-some% of your kids come up short every year at some point in time through the playoffs. But it was a lot of fun. That was a great place, man. They were so good to me. Over the last 8 years there, we won a lot of football games. I was very excited about, what we did there and how we did it. It was not any place I was ever looking to leave at all. I really thought I'd retire there. Obviously living in Terre Haute, being from Terre Haute, and living in Terre Haute, it's frustrating how football and our sports and our schools and everything just ran down, and it shouldn't be. And I know we got a great superintendent. We're trying to get everything built up and do some really cool things. I just felt like it was the right opportunity for me to come in and be, to be part of the solution and not the problem. And that's the way I look at it. And I'm going to be where my feet are. And right now it's at Terre Haute South, and I'm extremely excited about what we got going on and how we're doing it.
Okay. Looking ahead, how do you feel about the season coming up?
People ask me that a lot. I think the excitement is really good right now. I also think you're only as good as your opponent you're playing. So, I like what we have. I think we got talent. We got some depth, in a lot of skilled positions. We have a lot of depth up front. We don't have as much depth. But you know what? I'm excited about where they're at physically and mentally. To me, it's the mental aspect that I kind of preach on. When something goes wrong, how are you going to react to this? I can't stand negative things that we make worse than what they really are. So that's I'm just kind of working with the mental game and how to act. They're doing a really good job, and I want people to come out and watch this. I want to have something they can be proud of on Friday nights. I want to do things to the locker room. I want to build a building for them. There's a lot of things I got going on that I want to do, and we've done a lot since I've been here, and I think they're very excited. But you also got to, week by week, it's going to change a little bit when adversity hits. How are you going to react to that? But so far, so good. And I think, they keep doing what we're asking them to do. I feel really good about where we're at. Obviously, we know we got a tough schedule. I don't care who we're playing. I just worry about our guys. You can't worry about anybody else. You can't worry about what somebody has and what you don't have.
Absolutely.
I feel we got great facilities. We got great facilities because we got everything we need to be successful. And that's all you got to worry about. Do those things, and you got a chance to be successful. So very excited. We got a new head strength coach. Very excited about Matt Seliger. I think he's going to help take our program to another whole level. So very excited about the things he offers, the knowledge he has. I got a great staff. I'm only as good as my staff around me. Everybody does a great job with their role. Just like the players, everybody's going to have a role. Understand your role and play your role, and things will go smooth.
Absolutely. And this is the last year for Terre Haute South to be in the Conference Indiana. Planning to go out on top, right?
Yeah, like to. That's right. That's always the goal. Expect victory. So getting into next year's conference, we'll dive into that next year and see how that goes. I'm excited about the changes going on. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. But right now it's you're right. It's still let's take care of this conference. And they're never going to hear me talk about somebody else until it's that week. So Plainfield is all we talk about. What we got to do to beat Plainfield, and that's all we care about.
Right. Well, that's a tough test right off the bat. Is Plainfield. So.
Oh yeah, top 10 team. I mean, obviously they played them really well last year. It's going to be. They're coming to our place. They got to play on grass. I'm excited.
Yeah. We got the jamboree coming up. That's tomorrow. So. Get a good preview of some of your opponents, and then I mean, and now I have one question. If selfishly, is there any game that you're like, we're going to win this? Like, this is Coach Barrett's personal W.
No, there's not. No, I get asked that every time it seems like, but like, there's not one team. I want to beat them all.
Yeah.
Like that my whole career. I mean, you got rivalries. You always want to win your rivalry games, but you always want to win every game. I don't know anybody that doesn't ever want to win every game. So,
right.
You know, Plainfield would be the one because it's game one.
There we go. Plainfield right off the bat. Do you have any game day rituals? Are you superstitious like that? Like eat the same food, dress the same way?
No, not really. I just don't probably eat a lot during football season in general because I'm always active and on the move. You know, some coaches will gain weight. I unfortunately seem to lose weight. That might be the way I stress out. I don't know. But no, it's not really. I'm not afraid to eat whatever. I'm not afraid to wear whatever. You know, I try to wear the same coaching gear, whatever that may be, that Friday night.
Right.
You know, I'm kind of a pullover guy, not a polo guy. But you know, it's just simple. We're just coaching football.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What has been your favorite memory as a coach?
Well, the one that's in my mind right now is if you're talking game situations in games, is the North Posey game last year was incredible. Like, I've been in 2 state championship games and won some big playoff games. That was one of the biggest playoff games I've ever been a part of. The way that unfolded at the end, it was absolutely incredible. You know, this grit, determination, battling through adversity, like all the things you preach and talk about, it happened. And it happened in 41 seconds. Throughout the game, it happened, but the last 41 seconds, so that was incredible. But, you know, we've been in some big games, and winning championships is what you want to do. Love winning championships. So whether it's conference, sectional, regional, state, whatever. But, you know, we've had a lot of good teams I've been able to coach and be a part of. And, you know, some teams one year you think might be really good, and then you battle throughout every Friday night because of what your opponent's like, you know. And some years you're not very good and you end up having a great year just because on maybe what your opponent was alike or what you got better at. I think leadership has a lot to do with that when it comes to your team and kids, you know, staying positive and working together as one. But there's been some big games, but that one sticks out the most as of right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's a very memorable moment for you. And another history question. You helped found the Wabash Valley Football Coaches Association. And what made you want to do that?
Well, it's kind of funny because I used to see all the stuff from my father, like all the Wabash Valley, like quarterback club and all those stuff that they used to do in the 50s and 60s. Whether it was the all Valley teams. Of course, there was a lot more high schools here then, but that's where it all started. I remember asking him in high school, I was like, Dad, why isn't there anything else? Like, why isn't there still a Wabash Valley all-star team or an all-star game? Or, you know, why isn't so, you know, then the time goes on, then I'm coaching down at Rose-Hulman, and Russ Mollett was the head coach when he was from St. Louis area, and they had an all metro team, all-star game, all this stuff. So I'm like, start this in the Wabash Valley. So that's where I kind of put the plan together. And back then it was Jason Pinsky on Channel 2. So WTWO, I would get with those guys in Channel 10 about their Friday Night Lights, who all they cover. Well, there was like 20-some teams in the Wabash Valley. So I'm like, okay. So I sent out a letter to all those guys, said, hey, let's meet. We're going to meet during the Colts camp, because Colts were out at Rose-Hulman then. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to have a luncheon, and I want to kind of throw my ideas out there on things we want to do. Well, what happened was my wife and I moved to Iowa, so it all kind of got stopped, got halted. So when I moved back in 2003, that was like the first thing I wanted to do. I was coaching with my brother. I said, I'm going to get this Wabash Valley stuff going. Had a meeting at the Moose Lodge. I'll never forget it. Maybe 7, 8 coaches, and most of them were from Terre Haute North. Tom Jones was there. Tom Jones was on our staff coaching the freshmen. And I started talking about clinics and camps and having an all-star game. You know, a lot of guys are like, oh, you're never going to be able to have an all-star game. It's too much money in insurance and this, that, and the other. I said, no, we're going to have it. Like, if you get the right people involved, you surround yourself with good people, great things can happen. And
Absolutely.
so I said, all-star game director. Well, nobody put their hand up, and we all looked at Tom Jones, and we said, Tom, you'd be good for this. So, yeah, that's kind of how that happened. He'll tell the story too. But like, I always had camps. I always had clinics. We still do the clinics. We don't do the camps anymore because there's so much stuff going on with football. You can have your own. But they were really cool, man. 15 years we did all that stuff. But that's kind of how it got going. And here we just had our 22nd All-Star game, I think, our 21st.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, I wanted to make football better in the Wabash Valley. Well, and it literally has, I think. The teams outside of Eagle County have just gotten better. It's great publicity. It's a great night. And I hope every kid has an opportunity to be part of that. It's a great banquet. That whole Saturday is the 7-on-7 strongman competition. There's so much going on. It's a great day. It's a long week, but it's a lot of fun, and I think all the football junkies enjoy it.
I've enjoyed it I remember going to the first one, sitting in the stands. I was terrible at football, so I didn't make the team, but I got to watch from the stands, and it was a fun time. And getting to see my son go through it this last year, it was enjoyable, and I'm glad it's still going on. I thank you guys for all of your hard work for putting that on. I know it's not an easy feat, but I just want to say thank you on that. It's a very cool thing for the area.
This year, get the ring. The kids all got a ring, an all-star ring, which is really cool. By the way, did your son get that?
Not yet.
I got it.
You got it?
I got it. So I got to meet with you to get it. They sent it to me. I probably had that thing for a month. I got like 4 or 5 that they didn't send. I got them all sitting in my house. I'm like, I got to get these things out.
Yeah. No, I'll see you. I'll be at the Jamboree tomorrow if you just want to bring it with you to the game.
I'm going to bring it. So come up to me so I can give it to you.
You got it. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, like I said, I appreciate that. That ring is cool. And just the whole experience is cool. I'm glad. I do want to thank you for letting me take some pictures that one day. I meant to get out there more. Life happens. So
for sure. Yeah, like you and I have been trying to get on here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it happens. Well, when you get an offer to go to Nashville on Party Bus, you got to take that offer. We went and got the opening act for Alabama. We came up, we did that, and I was like, I got to take advantage of this opportunity. And then life just happens. So, but one last question. Any advice for somebody wanting to get into coaching?
You kind of broke up there. Any advice for people to get into coaching?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, get with whatever community you're in, get with your head coach or get with your youth football president, and that's where you want to start. A lot of guys want to get into coaching. They think they want to go right to varsity. It's just like going to the next level in college. Like it just doesn't happen.
Right.
But I think that's the key, man. Work your way up from youth football, stick with it, and keep. The problem today is you get a lot of guys and their sons, which I'm a fan of this. They just want to coach your kid and follow him up, which I like. I get that, but I don't think. And if you're going to stick with it, that's awesome too. But too many young parents get involved with their kids, and they just see them up to high school. But I like those guys that aren't just in it for their kid; they're in it for their kid and the rest of the kids, and then they want to stick with it, and then they can kind of work themselves up. It's so fun to coach middle school kids. One thing I loved about South Vermillion is we had a spring league, and it was a 5th and 6th grade league. So therefore, you got to, I got to coach all the 5th and 6th graders with my varsity staff in the spring. That was some of the most fun. And then by the time they get to high school, I've been coaching them. They understand some of the terms, some of the plays, because we do the same stuff. I think that's how we grew our program there. It all started with the youth.
Absolutely.
So So if you're interested in getting into it, I think, go see the high school coach, and he'll ask you to go somewhere, or maybe he'll want you on his staff. I don't know, but we always need good coaches in the youth league, in the middle school league.
Absolutely, and that's something Brazil. They've become a farm league for Northview, and they're running modified versions of their playbook. And I think in 10 years, when that second grade class are seniors, look out. That's all I'm going to say. But
all those teams do that, like Center Grove and Eric Moore. Man, he's just got a dynasty with those kids in that Bantam League, they call it. Coach Rates has obviously done a great job at Northview. He does an outstanding job. Hopefully we're going to get that here where we have just North Middle School and South Middle School. Get North Little League football, and then the South Little League football. West Vigo's kind of already doing it. We got some things we're working on here to make it better, and that's another reason why I took this job. And because to me that stuff's important. You're only as good as your youth, and that's the foundation of your success, is where it starts. So, I think that's
absolutely. Well, casting that wide net, because you lose kids the more they go up. So trying to be welcoming. And that's what I like about football. There's no cuts, I don't think, but and you're welcoming to everybody, and you just never know how good a kid's going to be.
No, you're right. And if there's cuts in football, it's because the kid cut himself due to the way he behaved and he didn't conform to the program. And I think it's important too for young, coaches out there, be careful how you coach your kids. Football is not just smash mouth football anymore. The days have changed. It still is very physical. But when you beat up on little kids and they get, as they go, they don't want to play football no more. We got to do everything we can to keep kids involved, teach them how to play the game properly. Therefore, they fall in love with it. They understand how to play it. And that's what's going to help drive success around here, in my opinion, is keeping out for it.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with that. You don't want to run kids off. You want to keep growing the program, because in the end, the kids want to have good memories. They don't want to think back and be like, well, that one coach he yelled at me so much and made me hate football. I don't want to play anymore. You don't want that.
I don't yell and scream at my kids. I don't, unless they know I'm really upset, but I'm not. You got to know how to talk to kids individually or in front of a group. Some can take it, some can't. You got to know who those guys are. You can not use them as examples, but you use them as guys that can help when you do get on them in a coaching criticism way, is they can take it to the next level. So kids all see that. Like, we're not yelling at you. We're just coaching you up because we know you can do better.
Exactly.
I give them, they got attitude and effort. They can control both of those. If you give me great attitude, I'm going to love coaching you.
Absolutely. So, well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time and talking with us. I look forward to following you along with the season. Now that you've been on the show, you're now in the Dinerverse, as I call it, and I'll be covering you guys on our Youth Sports Chowdown on Monday nights at 7 p.m. on all social media platforms. Oh, you have a podcast yourself, don't you?
Yes, I do. Maybe I got to get you on there.
Well, maybe. Well, plug it away, because
I'd love to get you. Those guys have done a great job with that since I've been at South Vermillion. It's the same two guys, Doug Hess and Chris Wood. They've their kids both played for me. They brought this to me, I don't know, several years ago. For 2 years, I kept saying no. I'm like, I don't have time. I don't like, but so they've renamed it. Obviously, now it's Moving the Chains with Coach Barrett. I wish I would have changed the title to A Cup of Coffee with Coach or something.
Ooh, I like that.
Coffee with Coach.
There you go.
Coffee shop also.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. That's brilliant.
Yes. Maggie and Mo's Coffee. I'll put that out there right now.
I'll have to swing by when I'm in Terre Haute.
Stop by the Sycamore Farmhouse and get you a cup of coffee on me. Tell them I sent you in there.
Okay, will do. At this time, I do want to thank the people that make this possible for me to do what I do. Wabash Valley Plumbing, Peak Performance Gym, RJ's Formal Wear, Stitched Embroidery and Apparel, and Ever Haute Co. Thank you. And also thank you to our subscribers on Facebook. And for 99 cents per month, you can support the Dinerpod, and it means the world to me. But that's enough of the shameless plugs. Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck this season. I'll be watching you.
Thank you very much for having me. Go Braves.
Hey, absolutely. Yep. Go Braves. I can't believe I just said that. All right. Take care. We're out of here. Keep pushing. Love y'all.